Welcome to Married to an Angel, where we share the principles for an angelic marriage. Here is Reverend Dr. Stephen and Reverend Lorna Mendoza.
All right, so tonight we want to kind of bring in the talk under three main topics. Of course, it is interactive. If you have any question, you will kind of let us know if you want to make a comment or anything. But we want to talk about three things that we hope will be helpful. We have observed, based on what is recorded in the news locally and internationally, that COVID has not worked for some. Mm-hmm. And why I say on the news and for some, because the news hardly report the good things, right? Good news doesn't really sell. It is bad news that sells. So what they would keep showing is the domestic violence. They would show the people who are under strain in their marriage and in their relationships. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that the church has not been affected, because I'm also telling you, we have had Christians where we had separations even during this time. So there is the negative impact. But then I also know of some real good news. I remember, as a matter of fact, 2 wives personally saying, Pastor, I didn't pray for COVID, but I'm real glad for COVID. Because this man was never home. And now he's home so much. Mm-hmm. And so we have seen both couples actually closer together, yes, loving each other even more. You know, so there are different effects of COVID on different persons and different couples. So tonight we are not going to take it from the perspective as though your relationship is not working and COVID has a negative impact on you. Instead, we would share during this time where you're together more, what principles can be applied to make the love for each other even healthier, make it more dynamic, more interesting, and make you remember why you started the journey together in the first place. Mm-hmm. So what are the 3 topics, my dear?
So 3 points we want to deal with tonight, because we know you have your topic already. We want to deal with vows, and as you are with your spouse, we would like to take you down memory lane a little bit so that you can remember the vows, that vow that you made with your spouse on that day. Vows are a serious thing. And sometimes we forget, as I would sometimes say, in the height of the moment, we just repeat what the minister tells us to repeat. And it is only when we are caught in a situation, then we realize how important and necessary these vows are in our lives. So we want to talk a little bit on vows. We want to talk a little bit about best friends. As you can recall, before your wife or your husband became your spouse, I want you to remember how you were best friends before. And so we want to be able to help you become, if you're not, become best friends again. All right. And also we want to touch a little on romance. All right. Rekindling or adding to the relationship, the excitement, to bring back some form of romance in the relationship. All right.
Okay, so we want to kick off on vows. And let me ask Lorna to read. This is a traditional vow. Cheryl and they would have known in our sessions, we would have done the traditional vows, and the end of our Married to an Angel weekend, we would have done, now that I know this thing about you, we would have done a different type of vow. It is a vow of commitment to the end of the journey. Yeah. But this is what the familiar one, when the journey now started.
So we want to talk about the typical vow that you are accustomed to. So in the vows, right, it will have my husband, he will say, I, Stephen, take you, Lorna, to be my wedded wife, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish till death us do part, according to God's holy ordinance, and thereunto I plight thee my throat.
Or to say, I will be faithful by fidelity.
Right.
Yes.
And also, too, there's a part that we would allow couples to say, especially to the woman. She would say to her husband, where you go, I will go. Your people will be my people, and your God, my God.
Wow. You know, on that day of the wedding, according to my wife, you seen anything that pastor tell you to see. You just want to get away. You only thinking honeymoon, your ticket. You don't want to be late. You don't want to dance in the wedding. You just want to go. But these vows are very serious things.
Yes.
And a matter of fact, if you reflect on your vows and if you lay hold and you hold on to your vows very strongly, I can guarantee anybody they will have a very wonderful marriage. Because the vows catered for the what we call the polarized views or the change in circumstances in life, the ups and downs, the vicissitudes. It catered for so many different things that you can go through in life.
Right, yes.
And so people, and I would definitely only want to be only the best things that happen. I will always want the good.
Nobody would want anything.
Nobody want anything bad.
Unfortunate circumstances.
But the vows were penned with wisdom. When these vows were penned, it was penned by people long ago. A lot of these pastors, they put this thing together because they get to realize that life has a lot of up and down. And it's only children just only expect the best and don't have to give anything. But mature people, after a while, you reach a certain age, you get to know life has a lot of challenges to achieve what you want to achieve in life. And so you could tell the immaturity of some people who never want their wife to change, who never want their husband to change, who cannot accept changes. And so, take for example, like a wife get pregnant, they don't expect the wife to put on size. I mean, there's only a little boy who wouldn't understand that. Because a vow will teach you that this from Coca-Cola, you could go to a 2 liter.
Yes.
It happens.
Yes, it does.
It doesn't happen to everybody. There are some ladies who can just drop the weight like nothing. And there are some who that weight that they put on when they get married, it remained. And they're doing everything. They're eating less, they're exercising, and they're overly conscious. And then the man, not understanding, I had to love this woman from Coca-Cola to a different shape. But you see, if he doesn't understand his vow, he wants to recreate Coca-Cola so that he can love her again. You understand? He believes that love has to do with conditions and circumstances being met in a certain way for him to be able to love. And then what we see happening here, he's falling out of love with his wife, or she's falling out of love with him.
Yes.
Because of changes. So COVID has brought some changes.
And good changes.
But
I think most of them are good.
If you lost your job, that is not a good change.
No, it is not.
But your vow catered for you losing your job.
Life reversals, yes.
Your vow catered for better, for worse. Your vow catered for richer, for poor. Your vow catered for sickness and in health. Your vow catered for that.
Yes.
So now why would you not love your spouse? Why would now COVID that making you all stay together longer? Why is that negative? Let's talk again a little bit about this same commitment, right? One of the reasons I got married to you because I wanted to be around you plenty.
Yeah.
Carl, and that's why I get married to Cheryl?
That's right, of course.
To stay with her plenty, not so?
Yes, sir.
Now,
I want to be around
COVID
all
make
the
me-
time, and we still do. I can't.
Exactly. But COVID make me stay home more. So if for some of you, you feeling your marriage is strained right now because you have to stay home more, it is only saying that you had developed some bad habits.
Correct. Yes.
You have developed the habits of staying away from each other. Whether it is through liming, whether it is through working a set of overtime, whether it is just being so silent that you're not relating and you're not communicating.
Or even recreational activities. You understand? Playing football, cricket, climbing with the boys, doing things that, that keep you away. Even, I even want to talk about women. Most of the times you'll find women are the ones who would run the errands, pick up, drop off, carry their children to this lesson, that lesson, So most of the time, sometimes the wife might be out of the house more than the husband.
So now when they come together now, they find as though they're in each other's way. You see? They're as though we're in each other's way. You didn't used to see him on the couch. Now you see him on the couch all day. Now you're calling him lazy. But he didn't get lazy. COVID, he home. We wanted to sit down in the yard. You had to sit down on the couch. I mean, I'm saying COVID would show up if there were any bad habits that you would have developed before COVID regarding being together. So you might have practiced separation. Before COVID, you might have practiced not being together often enough. I enjoyed hearing one of the couples when Brother Alexis had asked, what would you miss most if your spouse is not around? Some of them might have said, oh God, I wish he gone. But I like one of them who say, I would miss the things because we do everything together. And to me, this is what I really want to see happen in a relationship, that you do everything. Lorna and I make a vow to do everything together. We actually have, since we met, we worked Petrotrin together, we left our jobs together, we did business together, pastoring together, coach swimming together, everything together. And so it is difficult for me to imagine life without Lorna. I depend on Lorna, and I had a note finances. Somebody also said they can't sleep good at night. Lorna will tell you, I just hung up pillow. The other day she said out on one of these programs that when I go India and think by myself, I just cry. Wait. I said, even might laugh at me now. But I hugging up pillow and all kind of thing like that. I call it the pillow Lorna to fall asleep.
That's the real thing.
You understand? Because the fact is, we got married to become one. We didn't come married to remain two. And so if you are feeling pressured today because COVID has you so close, it is only because you did not practice becoming one. You were practicing to be two individuals still, separate individuals in a marriage. But you did not become one. You didn't practice to become one. You didn't practice to be in each other's space and enjoy each other's company. You didn't practice that. And so sometimes as couples, you're only practicing to come together for sex, you're only practicing to come together to do errands and things. But after that, you didn't build a life together. And so this vow that was supposed to help you get this close, you didn't realize how important this vow was. So I'm hoping tonight, when you get your private time again, that you would practice or vow, in a sense, to become closer, vow to be in each other's space.
And there are things you can do together now that you are home. You can, have an opportunity to have dinner together. When last did you sit with your family and have dinner together? Because you were always busy, one in, one out, you're up, you're down. So now you have an opportunity to have the whole family come together and have dinner,
and
to cook
together,
the family coming together and cooking. That brings the family together. What about relaxation? Before you were so stressed out. You're more out than in.
No rest.
No rest. So now you have an opportunity to just relax. You know, do you know some people feel guilty about taking time out to rest? There are some people who feel guilty about that, but your body needs rest. And so relax. Look at a movie with your children. Relax. Play a little game with your children. Play games with your family. Come together and just relax and have a nice time of fun with your family. You have to look at the positive side of this COVID. Have more conversation.
So this vow is telling you that you are committed to make this relationship work very, very good. That's your commitment. COVID or no COVID. Because COVID will not be here. I mean, they're already testing vaccines. So we believe by early next year, this will not be a scare again. But are you just going to go back to practicing separation? Or are you going to benefit from having someone so close in your life that you feel this joy? Listen, someone nice interesting about poking. I believe in that poking thing right through. You're not going to tell you. When I watch it like it's an X-ray. I scan in and. But you see, I always say one of my favorite things was Avatar, and they really said, "I see you." I said, no, I see you. You know? I see you. I don't see no mother past there. You know? I see my wife because there's a vow that we need to actually be one. So don't practice separation. So the second thing that we want to talk about is
I want to be your best friend.
Yeah, this is one of the favorite things, best friends.
So it's just a reminder, because now that you're home, it is just to remind you that when you were courting, this was the person that you shared everything with. This was the person you couldn't do without. This was the person that you choose. You know what I'm saying? It was your choice for this person to be your best friend. I remember when we were getting married, one of our logo was, "Today I will marry my friend, the one I laugh with, the one I live for. This day I will marry my friend." I mean, who's the best person to get married to but your friend? So it's just a reminder of you remembering how you were friends. You would share everything together. You left out nothing. Nothing had to make sense. It didn't, but just to be in the presence of that person, you make a joke and it's stale. But guess what? You will laugh because you know why? I'm a friend. So I can be myself with my friend, you know? And so today, sometimes we find it difficult to become best friends.
Yeah. See, if friends stick closer than brothers, and you know, families could be very close, but friends can be even closer than that. To the extent Jesus said, "I no longer call you servants, I call you friends." So the word friendship is implying that the relationship would have come to the highest level. Not so? Because you can just be a husband or wife and not a friend. That means that relationship, it is just basic. It is just duties. Jesus could have just had disciples, which would have just been roles. But he said, "I no longer call you that. I call you friend. I call you friend. I will lay down my life for you. I am not going to hide anything from you because I now call you friend." So if you apply that now to your marriage, where instead of just saying friend but best friend, in this case, there are no singular, I mean, I'm plural, BFFs, you know, is one best friend. Yeah. My best friend is my wife. I really have good relationship with my children. I have real good relationship with other people. I have very good relationship with Bishop is my real pal. But I have real and really, I don't have best friends. I have real good friends, but one best friend. But Lorna is not my best friend, just so you know. I made her my best friend. Because it was very easy to go into other relationships. I could, so many pastor friends I could have had. And instead of talking to my wife, I could have been on the phone with pastors all the time. I could have been on the phone with different people, just keep going lunch and all kind of thing, but not developing a relationship in my home. But instead, we invested in making each other our best friends.
I remember many years ago, we went to this function, we went to a dinner, and we were at the table sitting with some of the other pastors. I think it was a pastor dinner or something like that.
Big function.
And we were talking, just talking. So one of the pastors turned to us and said, "What, I'm like, you all didn't see each other for the whole day?" So my husband said, "We were with each other whole day." But you're real talking, and that's how we operate. Sometimes things don't have to make sense. Sometimes you talk about just anything
that comes to your
anything
mind.
that comes to your mind, you talk about. So you don't hold back, or you don't let your partner feel what they said didn't make sense.
See, so you don't have to be, when it comes to your spouse don't have to be making sense all the time, or have to be smart, or have to research, or have to research something before they come and talk to you, because you tell them how stupid they are, girl, this nonsense. So your wife had to go and research things and Google before she come and talk to you? Come on. Your husband have to be so smart, he's so dotish boy, that's the kind of thing you bring up. Hey, when it comes to husband and wife, we just want to be ourselves. And out of it, some days we'll be smart things, and some days wouldn't be smart things.
Sometimes you say the right thing, you say the wrong thing.
And if you correct me, I expect you to correct me with respect and with love.
Exactly.
I'd expect you to pull me down, because after that, if you treat me like that, then I wouldn't want to tell you anything. And then our communication would just get cold and dry, because you look at fellas who lying in the bars and they just talk all kind of nonsense. Every time they pull a bottle of rum, they're talking nonsense whole time, but they stay for hours with each other. And in a marriage, you want to make this thing so strict. You want to make sure it's prim and proper. Just be yourself and make this person your favorite person. And let me tell you this, you know what? Other people would want to compete for that space.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there are some, well, I don't know what you're talking about the ladies, but there are some men who they couldn't take the chain up when their other friends say, "Hey, boy, since you married this man, boy, she lock you down." You know, that boy, before he says you're right, I enjoying lockdown. So I locked down before COVID. You don't know I locked down? I locked down, 26 years now, I am real locked down. I want no matter arrest me, boy, whatever it is. I enjoy that. Now, if you do not know, so the fellas now, he don't know how to take a chain up. Instead now of enjoying the time with his wife and building on that, he want to show his male friends on the outside, that woman is controlling me. So he got and he set a line.
Yeah.
He in church holy, he fasted, he prayed every day. And he making relationship at home. Come on. You see you in real trouble there? No wonder why some of your wives send back all the outside, because when you come home, you don't know what to talk. You never took time to develop that relationship. But it's not hard to make a person better. So I think we have some suggestions here.
Let me just remind you of some things, and then we go into the steps, right? So you have to remember the good old days when every topic seemed very easy to discuss. You couldn't wait to see each other. Nothing had to make sense. Remember how laughter came spontaneously. You laugh at everything. You compliment her smile. Remember seeing a future with a friend for life and getting old together and becoming inseparable as the years go by. Can you remember that? Remember seeing yourself growing old together, never leaving each other out of any information and doing things together. Can you remember those things?
You're not keeping no secrets, you know?
No secrets.
Yeah.
You're honest. You're very transparent. You're sharing everything with each other. Can you remember those things? And so we have some steps. If you have lost your best friend, or you're keeping things away from your spouse, we have some steps to becoming best friends.
So this is the number one step we want to recommend. It's a simple exercise we're asking you to do. I want you to do as though you're putting out an advertisement for a best friend.
Mm-hmm.
So you go to CNC3 and they say, I want to put out an advertisement for a best friend. And they say, okay, sure, no problem. What are some of the things that you would want us to put on that list?
Mm-hmm.
So this person must have what different qualities do you want from this person? What would you put on that list? There are some nice suggestions here. Yeah.
Honesty.
That's a good thing.
You want them to be honest. You want them to be loyal, open. You want laughter. You want somebody who will bring laughter to your life. Have you ever seen couples? Oh my gosh.
I feel sorry for some.
They're happy, they're courting, they're laughing. And from the time the girl got married, there's no more laughter.
No more joy.
No more joy in her life.
Yeah. Do you know, some of us as married people, we make people that are afraid to get married. Yes, because when they're watching your face like prunes all the time and you vex and you can't talk and your wife, everything she do, you structure like your children sometimes say, I will live from annoying. They're not getting married, they're afraid to get married because what they see in at home, they see this, I don't want this. Come on, guys, we can do far better than that.
Selflessness. Sometimes we are selfish. I know there are some men and some women are very possessive. You hold down your wife, lock her down, or you lock down the husband, We don't want you to be selfish when it comes to your spouse. We want you to be selfless. You think of yourself less and you think of your spouse more. Yes. That's what we mean by that. Giving your undivided attention. Now, this one, let me just say. Let's say, for example, you're cooking in the kitchen, wives. I'm cooking in the kitchen and my husband comes and he wants to talk about something. So I am cooking and he sits and he's talking. Now, I am not giving him 100% of my attention. I am, in fact, just fitting him into what I am doing. And so, in essence, I fit him, I'm cooking. So, you know how we can multitask. So, we can do plenty of things at the same time. But in essence, I am not giving my whole self to him. And so when we talk about give your undivided attention, stop whatever you're doing, husbands too. When your wife wants to speak to you about something, don't just continue holding up the papers or you continue to sit in front of the TV and you tell her, okay, talk, but your face, your ears, everything is just focused, but you're just not interested.
So, we can say in the case of the cooking, we can say, all right, Stephen, let me finish this.
Right.
Because some meals they would recommend that you take off the stove.
Right, true.
But we can actually say, all right, this is a serious matter. How about we chat about it later? Some of us are afraid to deal with matters, you have to deal with issues. And so there's some talks and discussions really calling for undivided attention.
Yes.
That's what best friends do. They give attention. Sometimes you watch people talking on the phone all night. They're giving attention. Your children, you're trying to get your children off of the phone. Huh? Because they're talking with their friend whole night. You're trying to get them off of the phone. And your wife probably wish you would send a little text to her. Your husband wish you could see something nice. And you get all the children living on the phone, but send a little thing for yours, huh? You know what I'm saying? You have to be able to do things to show that you are the person on my mind. Now, whatever you put on this list, that was just some examples we give you. We're asking you now to become that to the person that, in this case, your wife. So if you want your wife to be your best friend, your husband to be your best friend, and you say, okay, this is what I want from a husband or from a wife, I'm asking you to come and become that person. Now, as I say, you can become a friend. If you're not, you can become an. If you're just friend, you can become best friends. And sometimes that may call for you letting go of some people, or less attention to certain relationships. Relationships that your spouse would have been complaining about. You may be in a job and your boss doesn't know what time is close off time. And you're afraid to tell him, boss, when I'm home, I have children to see about, I have no family to see about. I already give you 8-9 hours and it's continuing. So if I ever lose my job, well, sometimes, some of you never spoke to your boss. Some of you never actually even brought it up. So how you know you will lose your job? You just feel you will lose your job. Sometimes if you don't put things in place for a healthy and a strong marriage, if you don't have certain rules, you wouldn't get the result you're looking for. Take what I tell you. And there's some Christians, when they see couples going good together, they upset. And if I look at them, they're only showing off. No, they aren't showing off. It is you are envious because you don't have it. You don't have it because you didn't invest in getting it. See, you didn't invest in giving it time. My wife will talk about you not taking out your head from her people. So how you know how beautiful your wife's eyes are if you don't watch it? So, she spent all this time doing makeup and you're watching several hairstyles. I mean, I'm saying if you're not looking, I like that, my boy. Have up one time in mind. If you're not doing it, I'm saying, how would you get the result? See, some of us keep thinking things will just happen. You're hoping for the best. There are people who enter into marriage hoping for the best. Someone may hope for the best, but you better put some action and make this woman your best friend. And before we move on to the last topic, you have to stop finding faults in your spouse. If you want to find faults, go in front of the mirror.
One of the things, Pastor Mendoza, that I would like to add to that list is, having my spouse accept me the way I am.
Correct.
I don't want a mask for my spouse.
Indifferences.
You are right. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
So stop finding faults.
Indifferences. We are different.
And I want us to be different. I don't want Lorna to be an next Stephen. If Lorna is a next Stephen, then I will be talking to myself all the time.
Oh, it's so true.
I want Lorna to remain a female. I don't want my wife to be tough and do the things I do. Don't cry. Women cry. Why you want her to be tough like you? Why would a woman want me to get in touch with my femininity? I have no femininity. I have no feminine side. Men, none of you all have no feminine side. Women, none of you have no masculine side. Don't worry, no nonsense they're teaching you. You be a woman, man, you be a man, and see how God will make you all lock into each other. But you see, if you keep finding fault, she can't cook good enough. She can't wash good enough. She can't put in the towel straight. Yeah, right. You're going to do with your children. Everything you're blaming your wife. Everything you're blaming your husband. And look at because of you. Rainfall because of you. Sunshine because of you. Everything you're finding a fault in your spouse. Who would enjoy being around a person who criticizes them for everything? And so let me ask you something. Who tell you that because it's a wife, she had to be able to cook? Where you get that from? Cooking is an art. And some of you can't even draw a straight line. So if your wife can cook, so decide something, she could do plenty of other good things. I should have really taken care of your children. So what if she can't make a good roti, boy? You will divorce her because she can't make a good roti? Every morning you keep complaining, you go to the hard roti again. Well, boy, you make the roti. If you feel you could make roti better than her, you make the roti and done the talk the boy. But if you can't make the roti better, you are not better. If all you can do is criticize, but you can't do it for yourself, you are not better. If all a woman do is see faults in her husband, but she cannot even do what he does, you're not better, you're not helping. To make a person your best friend, as Cheryl said, you accept her for who she is and who he is. It doesn't mean that there doesn't have things to improve, but you start with acceptance. I say, there's certainly my wife, I've been doing 26 years now, and I say if someone come in this house and dress up like Lorna, I could tell if it's Lorna because I would look for certain what we call idiosyncrasies.
That's
There's certain things Lorna does that only Lorna could do it. And if that person want to come and play in the prim and proper, I say, where does imposter come from? Because I accepted this is who Lorna is. Lorna does it this way. I mean, like a jokey thing. Let's make an example. When we wash wares, when I pack wares, I pack from small to large plates. Whether I wash in wares, I wash in glass, and a certain order. When my wife washes wares and packs it, I tell you, I pray to touch a spoon because everything will fall down. I don't know how she pack all of that. She just wash it and pack it, wash it and pack it. Listen, there's nothing wrong with the way it's clean as far as I see it, and I know how to take out which one first and let nothing fall down. But if every time I see the ways I go to quarrel and talk about, the mother didn't teach you to pack ways, you see, I accept Lorna for who she is. So if our next woman now come now and want to play she is Lorna and go and pack my ways neat, I had to say that is not Lorna. Who is that? Other imposter. And you have to learn to accept people for who they are, accept their voice, accept their tone, accept their level of wisdom. Accept them. Don't
let them be free to be who they are.
Yes.
And that way, washing, packing thing is a man thing. Because when Carl wash and pack wares is the same way. And when I wash it, I just know I have a pot on the fire and I have to get the work done. So wash wares and pack, Cheryl.
Exactly. Because they might just wash wares once for the day, but we are always washing wares.
Duh.
And the association man, she says there's no room in the cupboard to put the wares. And I'm the one will take all the wares she wash, and I will find room, everything neat and nice. And she
and more room, Carl.
Yeah.
And you have room to put a buffalo after.
I'm telling you, I can put a bucket after still. And I tell her how I find room.
And so
that's what makes us unique.
And this is what makes us unique. It is our differences that make us unique. And if we keep trying to change that from one another, I make a joke with my wife and I say she is here cookie eggs. Now you know it is a cookie eye, right? I don't know, Lorna doesn't hear what I speak straightforward. I will say one thing and Lorna always hearing something
doesn't
else.
Explain himself properly.
And then she come back and say, you see, it didn't say it right. I learned to accept that about my wife. She accepted that about me. I say, well, all right, I cook you mouth and you cook ears. I can speak straight mouth, you can speak. But we laugh about it instead of criticizing each other and pulling down each other. We laugh about it. We accept this is who we are. Be you, I be me, and let's enjoy this journey together. Mm-hmm. All right. So the final thing we want to bring up is what is
romance.
That? Talk
a little bit about romance.
We wouldn't go rated R. We will just go rated PG-15. Now PG-15 is too young.
So keeping the spark in the relationship.
What is romance?
Mm-hmm.
See, romance is not sex. Oh, let's get that straight.
Mm-hmm.
Romance is an atmosphere. It's it's a setting.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's a catalyst.
Mm-hmm.
It is what you do to make each other enjoy being around.
Mm-hmm.
It is also what you do to stimulate your desire for each other. See, sometimes we lose desire in each other. We want to share a little with Dr. Homer, Dr. Andy Homer of Open Bible would have spoken in one of our Married and Angel sessions. Charlie, will that work with Dr. Homer?
Yes, yes, we will.
Right. And it was very, very interesting in how he used this
wine
cadence, yes, the wedding
when the wine
Galilee,
ran out, you know. So among the many valuable lessons that can be learned from the miracle at the wedding feast in Cana of Galilee is the fact that even the best of marriages, the wine sometimes run out. In scripture, wine is generally symbolic of joy, laughter, and happiness.
So wine can run out.
Yes.
In relationships, we have heard people say that their love plateaued. We've heard them say that I'm not feeling as excited about my spouse the way I used to feel. You know, you have heard these things. I have heard people say, Pastor Stephen, I love him like a brother. My husband come like a brother now. I love him like a brother. That was God's intention when you all got married. I want you to know. You know, in church you might call him Brother Franklin, but that was not God's intention. God's intention is that part of your being one had what you call an erotic flavor to it. Eros, that part of love that would make you desire each other and enjoy each other's body.
I remember when we now got married, I remember my husband saying, do not call me daddy, you know. Don't call me papa, you know. You know how some wives would like to call their husband daddy, papa. He made it very clear in the beginning. Do not call me no daddy. Do not call me no papa. I am not your daddy. I am not your papa. I am not your brother. I am your husband.
Call me honey, chunklums, anything sweet. Yeah, I call me daddy. You gotta call it yes, child. No, sorry. I mean, some of you vary on that, but this was my whole take on that. That I am saying I always want to have this desire for long. So I don't want anything to come in the middle of that. And so an important thing for us is like one important thing is hygiene. Hygiene is a real important thing. You know, just to create romance also means about dressing well at home. I know they sell these home clothes, petticoat, they call it.
What are you talking about?
Well, I know. Well. Sometimes I'm not too sure. They call it a house duster, house dress. My wife do not wear that at home. Do not wear those things. I tell my wife, you see those kind of things, people look like washcloth, and do not wear those things. People who making them thing and designs for hospital. And so when they get sick,
right. I second that.
Don't wear that home. Don't wear that around me. I will get scissors. I will make it a midriff tomorrow.
Amen, Pastor, amen.
See, because
Pastor Lord.
You have to create desire. If you don't do that, then your relationship will get stale. It will be boring. You would, ladies, you have to know that part of hygiene is always looking good. I know sometimes your hair stickles, oh God, don't have me frightened when you see you. Brush the thing, man, put it, you know what I mean? At least that every time you try to look at each other, try to be as clean as you can as possible.
I mean, as you talk about hygiene, brush your teeth. Brush your teeth. You want a nice kiss? Come on.
Yeah, don't throw up, your wife had a check for kind of cross on kind of.
Well, brush your teeth a little bit. You'll get much more than that.
So you may think the same, but you see, this romance is a real important thing. See, because if there's no romance, there will be little sex. If there's little sex, your marriage is in problems. 1 Corinthians 7 address that as a problem. 1 Corinthians 7 address it as a problem that Satan, all you church people listening to me here, all sort of holy tongue talking people, Satan in your living room because you're not with your husband in the bedroom. You set a headache you're getting.
Amen.
Buy your Panadol and serve. Service as though you're in the hospitality ministry. Do a good job with your hospitality. Reach and serve each other at the best of your ability. See, this romance thing goes really, really deep. I said somebody else, why I love the poking and touching couple that talk about that, and your husband is a real smart man, and I'm glad you will miss that. Because the Lord, I believe we have something called the 4 T's of communication, tone, time, and thankfulness, but at least touch for last. Because touch is a real important part of romance. See, if you rough up your wife and you squeeze her hand, then she'll be afraid of your touch. If you slap your wife, your husband, if you root it, then they'll be afraid of your touch. If this same hand could hurt your spouse, and then you want to come back and caress your spouse. So when your hand comes on her face, she'll know if it's to, or if it's to be afraid that it will come back with some speed. You don't want to use your touch ever to communicate hostility towards your spouse, male or female here, because domestic violence is both ways. You instead want your touch to always be a romantic touch, a pleasant touch, a comforting touch, a touch that is saying, you are safe around me. You are safe in my arms. So now when this hand is asking for more, then that body will be willing to come into this hand. You understand what I'm saying? And so the other aspect of the of that romance is that communication in such a way. I think you had something about saying some nice things about communicating, because I've spoken about it. How do I, if I don't pay my wife compliments?
Yeah.
If you don't pay your husband compliments, then there's no desire for each other, really. Then how do I know that you are looking at me or I am looking at you? How would you know if you don't see, hey, girl, you're looking good? You had to say things all the time. All the time. Let your wife know, I see you. Let her say, boy, there's only one thing you have on your mind. And I said, that is why you can understand. It's so easy to interpret me. I had 2 things on my mind.
Pastor Mendoza, I learned lately that all the things that men may say to other women, it should be channeled to their wives.
Oh, wonderful.
True.
You know, sometimes they might be seeing some sister or some woman in the community that looks good, and they might make, say something about the person that's pleasing. It should be channeled towards your wife.
Yes, it's like,
and therefore some men don't know how to do that.
Who tell you they don't know how?
and very well.
And they know how to tell the next lady?
It's a dear wife. But those are others, as you mentioned earlier on, about the Coke's bottle compared to maybe the tub. So they transfer all that nice saying from the tub now, and they're kind of looking for a Coke's bottle to really give those nice words. When their wives are there, just grieving and dying with the hurt, because some of them, they are here and they are seeing and hearing what you are saying, but you wouldn't say it home.
And some of them is actually hurt the wives.
Yeah, because some men, they would call women darling, sweetheart, and they wouldn't call their wives by those lovely names.
So true.
You understand? So they feel neglected, they feel
Appreciated,
unappreciated,
jealous. They start to become jealous.
jealousy start to stir up in your heart. Why? Because of neglect, because you have not shown your appreciation towards your wife or the things that she does, you have not done that. So, when you do it unto
And I
others,
think,
it is
I
easy
think
to
also
do.
that has a great effect on the romance.
Of course.
But of course.
Of course.
Imagine you say, oh God, the kind of size you put on that woman would not want to undress in front of you again.
Especially if you compare her to somebody else.
So
Somebody
true.
else.
So
You tell
true.
him, oh God, your belly hanging down to meet your knee. Oh God. So because you put down your spouse, they don't want to undress in front of you again. They don't feel attractive because you're not making them feel attractive. And men, you should know women, any little thing they are feeling attractive again. So you have to keep reassuring them of their beauty. When gravity started to take place, you have to let them know, hey, gravity, we call that everything looking good as before.
So
I said, my wife, she ain't aging at all.
He's so sweet.
Yeah.
If you don't do that, even you yourself will lose desire for your spouse.
So true.
If you want this journey to last 50, 60 years, how would you do that if you don't, from now, train yourself to ask, and I be praying for this, Lord, give me eyes only for Lorna.
Man.
It's not that I haven't paid other women compliment. Lorna is there, and I pay compliment in front of Lorna. We do it sometimes. Oh, sister, so you dress well nice. But that lady, that's all she getting in. She ain't getting more than that. Next time she can dress as nice as that, and she'll never get a compliment again. Lorna is the only one who getting repeated compliment. Other people get it off and on. Once in a blue moon. Because I understand the effect of paying compliments. If you keep paying compliment to the same person, let's say other than your wife or other than your husband, you keep paying that one person compliment all the time, that person will become attracted to you.
That's right. That's right.
And that's why if you're smart, you will keep paying compliment to your spouse so that your spouse will be attracted to you.
Amen.
That's what you do. You keep paying compliments. Yeah, you talk about toes, you talk about gluteus maximus, you talk about everything that the Lord gave.
Yeah.
You read the Songs of Solomon. Songs of Solomon never said the woman was nice. They spoke about her hair, her forehead, her eyes, her nose, her lips, her neck, her breasts. It spoke about everything. So you married and you just want to rush off and say you're looking pretty. Well, you're married, you have whole day to talk. Get into some fine details, talk about the airs. You have whole day to talk. Why you're rushing the compliments? Take your time and talk about it. When your wife calls and you talk on the phone, what do you say? Oh, hear voice, here. Say hello again and here. All those kind of things you do for romance. Send text to your husband, missing you. Have a good day at work. Appreciate how hard you're working for us. Reward when you come home. It might just be KFC, but whatever. Reward when you come home. Do things that will create interest. Because if you don't do it, you may envy people who, as I say, like when Lorna and I going, we don't need nobody else in our room. We're talking whole chatting. So you might want to envy now a couple that have it going down good, but they're doing the small things. They're paying the compliments. They're always chatting. They accept each other. But ask yourself, do I accept John in my life? Am I always trying to change him? Am I trying to control this woman? Every little thing I tell her now how to do, she's doing it wrong. She's doing it wrong. She can never please me. And that's why you don't have the relationship that you want to have. So COVID or no COVID, you got to let COVID going just now, right? COVID going just now. But you should take this opportunity to capitalize on this time of being together. So there are some of you who might have lived in church, And you know, Bishop, there are some people who live in the church instead of living home. And your spouse complaining, you're always in the church. Well, you're home now. Now that the man is home, but you find he was living in church before. Did you make his staying home so pleasurable that he would enjoy being home? There's some people who actually, they don't just leave home for leaving home sake. You know, some just run. Yes. Some just run from their spouses because they're nagging too much, you complain too much, and they're running from you. Instead of, according to again, Cheryl says, instead of just accepting for who we are, accepting situations for what it is, accepting that there are changing circumstances, do that. Stop complaining about everything and being such a terrible person to live with. In fact, this is one of the things I want us to put, okay, and then we'll bring this in here. You should vow to be the best person to live with. You hear what I'm saying? It's a personal vow that you're making. So in this case, I had to say, I am the best man Lorna will ever get to live with. I'll treat this girl so good. I'll treat this girl so good that the next man I have a chance. He have a chance because what he will come to offer her. I will treat her, my money is hers, my time is hers, my voice is hers, everything, my attention is hers. I treat Lorna so good. Let Robin Hood come. Let Prince Charming come. Let him come with a white horse, white car, and she, let's watch this all for this, whatever I am. She say, you can't give me nothing that Stephen not giving me as yet.
He even said that he will die at 96 to give me an opportunity to be remarried at 90.
Wow, that is love.
I ain't going before that. I ain't going before
love.
that.
You know, by then she can't do nothing. That is love.
I can't do nothing.
But I'm a fair man, Cheryl. I'm a fair man. I ain't even know young wife from nobody.
Well, I know at me, one of my things, the latest one of my stuff is that, you know, because of the COVID too, she's home, everybody is home, the work is more intense for my wife. Right. All right? Normally, if things was normal, we go out driving somewhere, most time we spend, but she's around home now, so she's working a lot. I'm telling you, it's really, really, really hard with her. So what I discovered the other day, thank God, God bless us with a little jacuzzi. So I would leave when she is, you know, clean up all the kitchen, all the finished cooking, swapping the house, mopping and all that. I would go inside and I will fill that jacuzzi, organize all the little bubbles and whatever she had to get. She'll get a special bubble, everything. And she'll come in, I know, all, you know, a little sweaty. She want a bath, she want to go in shower. I tell her, don't shower. When she was bubbling so fast, Mendoza. Oh,
relax, man.
You know, man, it's like a honeymoon again. She said, this is for me. And then everything got nice again. I'm telling you, real fire.
You're caring about this person. So imagine some 2x4 man want to come and tackle Cheryl. you better talk. She said, boy, move your little scrawny self from here. Oh, Lord. What can you give me that Cal not giving me? Mm-hmm. Huh? Mm-hmm. You will be sensitive to my needs without saying anything. And so I'm telling you here, be this person to your spouse. Give everything. Don't hold back on me.
That's right.
Give the best of you to your spouse.
That's right.
You don't want to give them peace of your mind, give them the best piece. Yeah. Don't give them the worst piece. Give the best of everything. When you're doing the food, up it up a little bit, up the standard. Yeah. Everything, do it top of the line for your husband, for your wife. Let a woman know you're thinking about her all the time. COVID or no COVID, all the weather in every store. Mm-hmm. For better, for worse, for richer, for poor, in sickness, in health. Where you go, I go in, brother man. You can't get rid of me soon. I will make you enjoy this journey. So if any one of you your husband or your wife complaining about the things that you're not doing to make them enjoy the journey, hey, what would it cost you
Adjust.
to adjust?
Be flexible.
What would it cost you?
Ability.
Invest in this marriage, boy. Invest in your marriage.
It's worth it.
Yeah, your children need to see good examples, and
Yes.
your children need to see. So how this thing ended up now?
So what we can say is, in John 2:10, everybody I know begins with their finest wines, and after the guests have had their fill, brings out the cheap stuff. But you have saved the best till now. That is what the Lord was saying, the King. We want to encourage you today and let you know your most romantic and sexually fulfilling experiences might be ahead. So sometimes you might think that the best wine is finished, but
It has better to come.
it has better to come still. And so it is not the end.
Amen.
So thank you so much, Elder Kyle, Sister Cheryl. Thank you so much for allowing us to share our heart in this regard. God bless.
Thank you for watching Married to an Angel, hosted by Reverend Dr. Stephen and Lorna Mendoza. For prayer and counseling, contact us at 304-4145 or email your request to needprayer@ourmissiontt.com. We encourage you to like and follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Remember, you can be an angel to your spouse.